Hey, Aaron here from Kingdom Integrations, and I'm so excited to be with you today. If you're watching this, that most likely means that you've either gotten one of our systems or you've gotten one of our leadership programs. But either way, I'm excited to talk to you about how to launch your campus. So, in the other videos, you're going to hear parts of the things that you hear in this one, but this is kind of like the overview. And I titled this, You're Not Going to Do It, We Are. And that is the should be the ethos of everything that you do as a production coordinator as you're building this church and launching. Because launching a new campus or even starting a new production team can feel super overwhelming, and there's a lot to think about. There's the load and load out process. There's all the new technology, unfamiliar environments, and different venues that you might be in. Not enough time to get it done. The pressure of letting your team or your pastor down. I've felt all of those things, and I've launched about 6 campuses now, and I definitely know what that feels like. But here's the truth: someone has to lead the way. Someone's got to do it, or it's not going to happen. And it can't just be you, even though it feels like it's going to be just you. Yes, you are the leader, and the responsibility ultimately falls on your shoulders, but the work belongs to we. So, who is we? We, as your future team, the people who have been waiting to be called up. They're out there, they're sitting quietly, often waiting for someone to give them purpose, and you probably have more of these people than you realize. So, the first thing you got to do is identify who you need. So, start by breaking down your system into different environments, roles, and timelines, right? So, you have key areas. So, let's say you have your main auditorium, right? So, you want to have like the stage position. So stage could be your racks, speaker setup, stage monitors, and stuff like that, right? Then you could have someone a position called like a cable tech. And now cabling is the person who does like they can do all the cables. So racks, racks to speakers, racks to instruments, and that type of stuff, right? And then lighting, you can have someone who manages turning on all the lights. If you have stuff that you're physically setting up all the lights, getting the cables for those lights. Cameras, a position who just they just set up the cameras, and then like front of house, setting up the front of house console, all those things. So you want to identify the different sections, and now this can be flexible. So it can be um, really micro, meaning you have like depending on how big your team is, one person that just does XLR cables, one person just does SDI cables, one person just does drums, right? Or you can make it more macro, meaning you can have one person that handles a section. When you're starting out, this tends to be the great way to do it. So you have one person or two people, they do all the racks, so front of house and stage racks. One person does all the monitors and all the speakers and stuff like that, right? But as you split this up, it gets much easier to delegate people. Otherwise, you have everyone show up. Let's say you get 15 people to come, and they're all kind of scrambling, bouncing over one another, trying to figure out what to do, and it's not clear. So your job as the leader is to give clear instructions and direction. And then I think it's really important to have an aux support. So this is like I would call them a floater. So aside from you, there should be one other person who knows everything. So there should always be two people who know a little bit about every part of the system that they can be floating around giving direction, being no, plug that in over here, no, put this rack over there. Someone to guide the overall movement of the morning. Then number two, start early. Now that you have developed these systems and you know the positions you need, make the team before launch day and start working with them before launch day. Um, get cast the vision early and often, explain the roles clearly so people can imagine themselves doing the work, and empower them to take ownership. Explain to them how important it is. Set clear commitments. I talked about this in some other videos, but like, can you commit to being part of the launch team? Is a very healthy way to get your team growing, because a lot of people can commit for like 6 months, but if you give an open-ended ask, people will often say no because they don't want to be locked into something for 3, 4, 5 years. So give a clear expectation. Be like, I would love for you to be part of the launch team. We're like the Navy SEALs. We're going to get it done and we're going to launch this thing over the next 6 months. use the tools you have. So if you've partnered with Kingdom Integrations, you will have all your training and setup guides. So make sure you go through them, really digest them, watch the videos, read the documents, understand it, and then start leading them through some of those documents and have them prepare for setup time. Um, so one thing that's important is you have to learn stuff your first. So as the leader, really try to digest the bulk of your setup, understand it, know it, and know it enough to teach the basics of it, but know that people are going to be better than you in individual roles, but you need to know a lot about the whole thing. So as you're building your team, remember, you want to find the people, develop the roles, explain the roles to them, and then as you get closer to the end, you want to prep them for it. And then as you launch, you want to delegate properly into each position. So, and lastly, as with everything we do in ministry, the most important thing is that they know how important this is to the kingdom of God and how important it is to launching the church. I hope this was helpful, and I cannot wait to see you on site at a project or in a future Kingdom Integrations video.